Okay, mic check, mic check, mic check. Should be able to hear, see the screen, all that. Welcome. Mr. Blue here, TradePhantoms.com for about an hour, give or take, for a live pre-market prep and analysis kind of session here, if you will. Welcome YouTube, Instagram, on the stream and all that. Today's date, Tuesday, the 29th of July, 2025. Busy week. Today's already, kind of Tuesday, kind of starting this off right. Why is it a busy week? First and foremost, just really briefly, I'll just bring this up. Big part of this week is going to be earnings. So today, obviously being Tuesday before the open, we had we have PayPal, Boeing, UPS, Spotify, a couple of big ones there. And early this week, just on Monday, yesterday after close, I should say, early this week, early this week, Monday. Waste management, nothing too crazy there. Whirlpool, looking for some big ones. Procter & Gamble, big one, pre-market today. Visa after the close today. Starbucks today after the close. Wednesday, we get into more of big tech. So make sure this is on your radar if you're trading assets. Even futures would be potentially affected by this as well, right? So we got Meta, Microsoft, Robinhood, Carvana, Qualcomm, ARM, Ford, a couple of big ones there, Hershey, Etsy, etc. Right? So just again, y'all can read this out, take a picture, do what you need to do here with this. And Thursday, Apple, Amazon, Coinbase, Reddit, Roku, CVS. So we got some stuff, and then it goes into oil, the energy sector too as well. We got Chevron, ExxonMobil. So big week in terms of earnings, and then on top of that as well, AbbVie. I see AbbVie in there. On top of that as well, just planned economic news. In addition to all of that. Just really briefly, just while I'm here too, 10 a.m. Eastern, we do have Jolt's job opening. That's today, okay? And that's 9:30 a.m. Eastern is when the market opens, right? And so 30 minutes after that open, 10 a.m. Eastern, we're going to have that news print. So that could potentially affect the market. We got some Aussie and some other currencies as well. We've got some big data coming out this week as well. We have also Wednesday, tomorrow being Wednesday, we have the Fed funds rate. So this week is Fed week in the U.S. in addition to mega cap earnings. So this things are going on in the background here. If I could just share this with you just really quickly, there's something called the CME watch tool, CME Group watch tool, and I could type this into the chat there. This is a very important website. I would suggest to even bookmark it. What this is this is going to let us know. Going into the Fed announcements, it says all of the Fed, the FOMC meetings, okay, the dates for announcing whether they're going to change rates or not. And this kind of lays them all out. And we can go down here to the probabilities of this. And going into it, there's essentially 96% chance, 97% chance based on the Fed fund futures that they're not going to do much and they're not going to change the rates, even given everything that's kind of happening in the background in regard to the Fed. The Fed Chair Jay Powell and Trump and all that kind of stuff, right? So, so going into that, going into tomorrow, it seems like nothing is much going to change. However, going to be interesting to see what he says and how he answers these questions. As two are being quote unquote priced in for this year. So after July 30th, which is tomorrow, we only have September, October, and then December. So there's only 3 other meetings after tomorrow before the end of the year. While they make their announcement. So it'll be interesting to see how he navigates tomorrow's arsenal of questions for people to get some insight on what they might be doing going forward on the 17th, 29th, and then the 10th of December going forward. So interesting there. Sometimes Fed days are great. Sometimes they're not. It's just a whole bunch of chop. So right now markets are obviously at all-time high. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that unravels. But for today, that's a lot of information that I just kind of throw at you right there. I know it's a busy week, so hopefully you got some rest over the weekend. But today, we'll see what we have to offer for just, trading the open, which I'm going to get into in a moment, right? So that said, regarding that, I'll start this off more formally here. Good morning, everybody. And we got this document here that I bring up every single day, no matter what. And this is the, with Phantoms, demand supply is institutional demand supply is the strategy, right? Top-down multiple time frame analysis. You'll see a lot of orange, yellows, and blues in my chart. Monthly, anything that you see in orange is going to have to do with the monthly time frame. Okay, if you see anything in yellow, that's the weekly time frame association. Okay, blue is going to be daily time frame. Okay, here's a checklist that I provide for some of the Phantoms members. Okay, candlesticks, a bunch of fancy names, great. Okay, but location and context being most important. Okay, we talk about this more in detail inside of some of the classes that we have here. Bearish candlesticks. Okay, location and context being more important, and then we get the liquidity map here as well. My favorite thing on the planet. And if you know this, you know this. If you know this and really understand and know this, you kind of understand it. Just putting this into perspective on multiple time frame analysis. You got it, right? That said, let's get to the charts. Gold, my prediction, range on the monthly, weekly, daily, seasonality wise. Yesterday I sold some puts on GLD. Gold's in a very range environment right now. On the it's up on the higher time frames, monthly, weekly, daily, up. But the past couple of, I would say, months, it's been range. Okay, so just you got to kind of go into range accumulation mode on lower swipes. So here's GLD, the ETF. So we're just kind of we're just going sideways, right? We're going sideways. All-time high here, tag here. So this is going to be representative of low range. This is going to be representative of high range. Okay, up here, all-time highs. But we could potentially have a breakout to the upside. But seasonality-wise, this is comprised of 30 years of data. Typically, June, July, August, early August is kind of sideways, right? In regard to seasonality for gold, it'll be interesting to see late August into September into October how this potentially might unravel. Okay, so I would suggest, okay, in the event that we get lower, okay, I've been talking a lot about this with Phantoms. Okay, we swipe some monthlies and weekly lows and hit this low range here. I'm really looking at 291 here GLD potentially for a low range swipe yearly VWAP rebalance right below this level, which shows a ton of stop losses here and here. Okay, stop people out, right? Having maybe stop people out on longs. Okay, maybe get some people to get trapped short down into this area here. Okay, and then that could be the low range entry, setting up for latter part of this year, potentially for some gold. Okay, later seasonality wise. All right, so just gotta be careful here trading the range. You can see this is the monthly VWAP here in orange. And it's just sideways along with the 20 period moving average. It's going sideways here. So we've been in a massive uptrend on gold, right? It loves late part of the year and early part of the year, right? In October, November, December, January, big seasonality wise, where you get these pushes here. Seasonality is not a guarantee, okay? But typically during these months, summer solace on gold, it's typically range bound. So just putting multiple things together, institutional demand, supply, structure, context, and seasonality as well, putting it all together. Okay, so this is going to be an interesting area down here. I'm kind of actually hoping, selfishly so, that they kind of come down here and do some work down here so we can get some lower prices to work on that. Fair enough. All right. Good morning, Sean. All right, so let me start this off here. I'm going to do futures here. I will actually take a quick peek at gold futures as well. That was the GLD. That's the ETF. Trade options on that. And let's see. So we got the major four indexes. All right, S&P's upper left, NASDAQ upper right, Dow Jones lower left, Russell 2000 small caps bottom right. Now it's hard to see what all these lines here. Usually pop this open here to make this a bit more visible. If you could try to make out what this is here. This is the daily time frame of the S&P futures. I'll drop down to the small time frame in a moment. You'll see some structured levels, so on and so forth. If you've been following the channel and all that kind of stuff here, I've been just talking about how this market's just a bull market, VIX down, market up, VIX down, market up. Just brushing off many things that are getting thrown at it after, quote unquote, Liberation Day in April. Okay, one of the fastest drops, one of the fastest up recoveries that we've had in over 100 years of data. Okay, blah blah blah. Here we go. 20 period moving average, just riding that, and we just continue to kind of sideways, right? Base, swipe lower, grind higher, right? Swipe lower, grind higher, swipe lower, grind higher. Now, at some point, this condition and context is going to change at some point, right? I've been talking a lot to Phantoms members. Just be careful. I know, you look up and left, you see some supply. There's an all-time high supply, which we just got another new all-time high last. I'm sorry, not last week. Yes, indeed, multiple times. And then yesterday we did another all-time high again, right? So I'm sure you're all looking at this and like, oh, there's a level here, there's a level here, there's a level here. Yes, it's an all-time high level, but typically, it's very easy and simple to just kind of take that back up, right? As markets are parked at all-time highs, they can just continue to kind of grind up until there's some kind of catalyst. I don't know. Is it Jay Powell? I don't know, right? So we'll see. I will say we're up. We're high. For the year. Well, I shouldn't say we're high for the year. We still have. I don't want to get too in the weeds on this at the moment, but let me just see if I can give you some insight on that, because we do have a big announcement in terms of Fed coming up. This is probably not the time to do it because this restream really slows my computer down. There you go. Okay, we finally loaded up here, but we closed last year about right here. Okay, and we're about up for the year. Wow, I mean, if you think about it, we're up about what 8.5%, almost 9% for the year so far. So I mean, hypothetically, that is a already good stellar year. Like even if the S&P stopped going up and stopped going down, just like closed right here right now, that's to be a good stellar year even after that 20% drop that we had in the S&Ps. Okay, so here we are back up, right? So just we just gotta be careful, right? Cautious, because we're getting a little, stretched out here. Now, I'm not calling for a crash or anything like that, but yes, there's going to be some kind of bigger mean revert as we kind of come in, okay, on that. So just, that's why I started this morning in this prep, just kind of outlaying a couple of the big things that are happening this week. Take this for a grain of salt. We were talking about seasonality, so I guess it's fitting to just throw it in there really quick right now, okay? But typically, not always, but typically like August, kind of September-ish, all right, is typically where you have a little bit more of a pullback on the major indexes of the markets, if you will. Okay, and coming off these really off these new highs. Okay, that might be it would have to kind of slow down potentially. Well, it doesn't have to do anything first and foremost, right? But there's a high probability that at some point, yeah, of course, we're gonna get a little bit more of a bigger correction. Okay, all other things being equal. Okay, nothing surprising coming out in terms of data, right? So we'll see on that. Okay, I'll drop down to the smaller time frames. We'll map out our Globex high, Globex low, and get some structural levels. I do want to make a note real quick on one of these lines here that as we're starting to creep up on this 20-period moving average, or I should say, as the 20-period moving average is kind of creeping up here, I do want to reference one level right here, which is 63. Where's the 20? 63.20 handle, give or take. All right, this is going to be where the 20-period moving average is. On the daily. MJ on YouTube, it's this is the liquidity map that I learned in New York City on the floor. Understanding accumulation, distribution, and there's a lot that goes into this. It's fairly simple though, but it's a lot that goes into it. 2 actions, buy and sells, 4 possibilities: buy to enter, sell to exit, sell short to enter, buy to cover. So yeah, we put that all together. Right. That said, if in the event that we did pull back down into this 63.20 handle, give or take, that would be the mean revert into some daily demand along with that 20-period moving average. Okay, so that would be buy to covers, buy to enters on the mean revert. All right, that's what's been happening so far. All right, NASDAQ, same thing. I will drop down to the small time frames, but just real quick, 904, new all-time high even today, overnight. Okay, NASDAQ's been on a tear. All right, along with the S&Ps. All right, Dow Jones, Russell 2000, backlogging a little bit there, right? But yeah, just nothing else much to say other than just be cautious, be careful. All right, VIX extremely low. Markets super complacent, get a little greedy here. Greed's out, and meme coins firing off, things like that. So anytime that we're in a state of kind of euphoria, you got to be a little cautious. Okay, kind of sleep with one eye open type deal. But you can't fight this grind up either as well. So I'm long until the markets tell me to be long, until something kind of pops off. Okay, we'll get some kind of mean revert as I've been mentioning here. Right now, we'll switch over to the monthly, weekly, daily just real quick. All right, monthly, weekly, daily here in the middle. I'm sorry, monthly, weekly, daily to the right. Okay, and then I got the 60-minute time frame here, upper left, 30-minute bottom right, 5-minute here, followed by the 2-minute there. So multiple time frame analysis, super important here. 60-minute time frame of the S&P futures. Okay, we're going to map out what's called our Globex high, Globex low. All right. So just real quick, just for humoring here, real quick. We don't have a lot of time here, but the just we have this thing called Globex traps. We map out the overnight high, overnight low, and wait for that Globex low to get taken out and in coming down into an institutional level of what we would call fresh or prime demand. That's what we're going to be looking for here. And so if I were to do that right now, this is the Globex high for today's session. Okay. Here's the Globex low. Right there. And what I'm looking for is an institutional level of demand below the Globex low, represented by that blue line right there. Okay, so if I look down and low, I mean, we do have this level right here. We had a little bit yesterday. We had a drop, bit of a basing, and a bit of a rally here, but that's just yesterday's kind of low, and this is a retest into at around this area here. Okay, so this could be used as a potential liquidity sweep. I will say potentially today. Okay, one of the things that we speak a lot about in regard at Phantoms is talking about how we kind of hunt, okay, for stop losses, if you will, right? So in the event that we do happen to kind of swipe down, this was yesterday's low, okay, and if I look below Globex low and yesterday's low, okay, I'm looking for a fresh level. There's really nothing super prime or fresh down until we get into, I would say, 6.377, okay, 6.377. So I still have this on the radar right here. And if I look down left over here, you can see we have an impulse basing impulse right here that was developed 7/23, July 23rd, give or take about 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, it was one to an all-time high, popped out in a new high, impulse, basing impulse developed during the regular trading session. Okay, nice little breakout there. Okay, and then this is all kind of overnight kind of fluff here, right? It's a very slow day here, overnight fluff here. And then Friday, where, we did some kind of movement, but it was very slow and grindy. Okay, up move. Okay, and then yesterday was kind of a slow and grindy day again yesterday, right? So if today we happen to get some volatility opening it up, potentially, okay, look out for the 6.377. Yes, could you reference this area of demand that was put in yesterday? You could. Okay, is this going to be a stronger level, or is this one going to be a stronger level, or this one going to be a stronger level? In other words, 63.08 or 63.77. This one's going to be the stronger level because as this is going to be a fresh level or prime level of what's called demand. Okay, and we have a couple like kind of daily low sweeps. Okay, so just be careful when this market kind of drops. Right, we've been getting these flushes, right, in this pattern here that we've been I would say for the whole month of July for sure. I could say, okay, we've been just getting kind of grinding, and then all of a sudden S&Ps would kind of like swipe lower. Don't get trapped. Okay, don't get trapped trying to like sell short into that, approaching into a level of demand in the context of an uptrend. Okay, and you get your face ripped off. Okay, so that's kind of what I got here on the dock. Be careful with this 64.08 level. And yes, we do have the all-time high level of supply, 64.57 here, up here, and just be careful with this level because it's the all-time high supply, so it could potentially just get taken out. Okay, you just get taken out as the all-time highs have been. Okay, you could get a potential reaction out of here. All right, don't get me wrong. All right, if you put your stop loss right above there, you're probably going to get stopped out because they'll probably click out in a new high. But it might work out. It's a low probability trade, but it's just hard to really where do you put your stop loss because you put it right above there. You just got to hope that this level kind of works out. It doesn't pop out into a quick new high. If you put your stop loss wiggle room above here, you give it more space, it could just still kind of clip you out as these markets, all-time highs last Friday. Okay, and then pop, there goes new high, right? It could be, it could pop a new high by 20 points. And I wouldn't want anybody to just have no stop loss short that market, especially in futures. NASDAQ, 1 hour time frame, right? And as you can see, Globex high, Globex low, kind of like last Friday, just popped up below Globex low. Couldn't even get to any type of level here and then just rallied back up, right? So today, Globex high here, represented by that blue line, Globex low here. NASDAQ futures 1 hour. All right, below Globex low, down and left. Yes, we can reference this daily low yesterday here. It could be a bit of a liquidity sweep right below there too. All right, and we do have, of course, I have this 23,235 down here, that level down here. Okay, that's nothing to. I don't even need to explain that. That's beautiful and decent potentially for today. Watch out for in the event that we do drop a bit even more lower. Okay, there's another little daily low right in here. Okay, these are all kind of not the greatest formations here, so you got to be careful with these levels here. Okay, there could be a little sneaky level right in here too for a G-trap. Globex trap. 23,265 call it. All right, supply, there is none. We just mapped out all-time high literally like an hour ago. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to waste time on that at the moment. Could reference these areas. I'm not going to put a price on it, but you know, there's some stuff here, but a lot of time spent there, a lot of wiki action down here. So here's comp price. I'm looking down and left, right? Down and left. So yeah, this is the better, fresher stuff down into the 265 handle below these daily lows. All right, but we could get some reference on this as well at that area. Gold, kind of went over that just really briefly in regard to the GLD. All right, very rangy. And man, we're still inside of that mid range here. So, just, I already kind of mentioned that on GLD. So just kind of push forward a little bit here. VIX, go to the VIX. Super important volatility index. Lakai, what is Globex high low? It's just the overnight high, overnight low. Regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern, right? Kind of stock market hours, if you will, regular trading hours. Then you got overnight session, which is everything after that, right? Anything outside of that is going to be the overnight Globex session futures. They call it Globex. All right, VIX. VIX down. VIX is 14.85. Bull market. Very complacent at the moment. Be careful if you understand what volatility is and how to work it. This is going to be the time to, like, if you want insurance, if you want to insure your portfolio, things of that nature. This is the time to do it as markets are at all-time highs and everybody's having party and fun, right? Everybody's long-term portfolio is partying, right? Nobody's thinking about danger at the moment, right? And VIX is low. Volatility, that options are cheap. So relatively speaking, right? There's a lot more to this. Okay, I'm just kind of I'm watering this down tenfold. Okay, but if you did want to kind of beta weight and protect and buy some insurance in your portfolio while using put insurance, okay, this would be the time to do that, as you would be locking in what's called a low VIX, okay, or relatively low VIX. Okay, so VIX down, market up, VIX up, market down. Again, way more to that. All right, that's a watered down statement there, and still mapping out the overnight session high, overnight low here, give or take. Okay, there's the open gray space and thicker swim kind of gives us that overnight. I kind of pin kind of the overnight low. Okay, if we take out the overnight low and just kind of park down here, right? VIX doesn't have to really go down, down, down. It's already like fairly low. I mean, could we see a VIX 12? I doubt that. I don't even know if that's even possible. I mean, it's possible. Anything is possible. But I don't know if I don't know if we can see a VIX 12. We'll see. I doubt it. But anyways, if we take out the overnight high, we kind of snap higher and grind higher and trend higher on VIX. That could be more bearish for the market. Okay, at least for a day trade, day trading sessions today. If we stay lower, okay, that could be a bit more bullish for the market. Okay, so you can see, overnight, boom, VIX dropped, okay, pretty significantly, and you can see S&P's NASDAQ are up. Okay, so we'll see if that continues. Put a pin on that. SPYs. Trading view is a little slow today. I got weekly on the left, daily in the middle, and just a 2-minute on the right. All right, SPY's close here, right? So it's a strong week, great, strong weekly, continuing to fall through. Close here, gap up here, slight outside gap here today. If that were to hold over the next 14 minutes, okay. This will be interesting to see. Basically, a little bit above yesterday's high. So SPX. I'm gonna go to options tab here real quick. I have to get a little advanced and geeky on you folks here. SPX probably implied open around, they say 6,400, 6,405 plus or minus a few here. Thing called options depth here, very powerful tool. All right, let me update this just really quickly. Let me see, 64. I'm gonna do 60. Yeah, 60. That's fine. 64. Bring this up to 75. All right, so we're going to open at or around, make sure this is right. Market maker, GEX. There we go. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right, so 6,400, give or take. What's interesting about this is it's pretty light up above. We do have negative, what's called a negative gamma or GEX gamma regime above 6410. Okay, so super interesting. So market makers have sold calls here. Okay, and that was going to provide what's called a negative GEX. So typically price could go through a negative GEX regime or area, okay, pretty easily or simply. Okay, market makers would be going with this flow in the event that if markets were to rally, market makers would have to buy, okay, and go with that, okay, to hedge their deltas, okay, above 6410s up into, okay, 6430s, give or take, where we have these blue or gamma nodes, positive gamma nodes, blue or greens, positive gamma nodes, okay, where market makers would have to sell in to those positive gamma nodes. Okay, so they'd be going with price within negative GEX, but then they'd be opposing, okay, and suppressing price as we get up into the positive gamma nodes. Okay, there's another negative gamma node or regime at or around here, 6450 up into the 6470. So pretty interesting, pretty light above. If this market kind of holds bids above this prior gap up, and NASDAQ has a breakaway gap here too today, I'm gonna be a little cautious on it, but there's negative GEX above here. So that's interesting. Where does that come in? About 10s to, I'd say, 30s. Now that's a little advanced, but if you know, you know. Definitely don't have enough. It's not a 10-minute conversation before the market open to learn that concept. That's for sure. That's a very advanced concept there. What is this thing doing? All right, below price, we got the 64. We're going to be opening on the 6405, give or take. So again, we'd have to rally and get above 6410 and enter that regime. There's a decent little positive gamma node, 6390 right there. So in the event that we do gap up or pull back, keep an eye on that 90 handle, which is essentially going to be the gap fill thereabouts. All right. So there's an unfilled gap here, and there's also a positive gamma node there as well, 90. Spot calls and bot puts, but the puts are a bit better. Okay. Yeah, so we can put a pin around the 90 and the 80 area here. 80 has one too. Not an unfilled gap, but indeed a positive gamma node there. Trading view is a little slow. It's a little lagged right now, even for me. I'm fast, so it's like I'm already on my next command while it's backed up a little bit. All right, let's continue here. So SPY's Q. Gex spot having issues too. Yeah, so we get some technical difficulties here. All right, Q's weekly on the left, right? Daily on the right. Well, daily in the middle. 2 on the right. We're up here, gapping up all the way up here. All right, close here, gap up here. You're just gonna be a little cautious on here, getting stretched a little bit here, away from some mean reverts and all that kind of stuff, right? So just watch out with this gap up. Okay, we could potentially gap up here. You can see the pre-market quote. If we do gap up and kind of have a gap up and kind of fade, or gap up and kind of fade lower, we could potentially use yesterday's kind of high as a potential retest first stop here, potentially. Okay, into this area here, right? Of course, we got an unfilled gap lower down here too. Now with these big gaps, sometimes a lot of folks will try to fade this gap and say, "Let's going to close the gap out today." Don't get me wrong, that could happen. Okay, Mark Douglas, rule number 1 in trading in the zone. The Bible, everybody got to read that. Rule number 1. Okay, anything can happen anytime. Okay, so that said, at least reference, I would say, this gap fill. Okay, you can, if it doesn't fill today, of course, we can reference it for future days as well. All right, now the state that we kept gapping up here. We got 2,200 VWAPs all down here, and we're gapping up here. It's a little stretch, so we could have a little bit of a pullback down here just to have things kind of catch up, right? Apple does have earnings, thank God, because it needs something to kind of blow it out into some kind of movement. It has not been moving a lot as of late. The reason why I'm mentioning Apple right now is because it's first kind of on my list there. And it's just been range. It's been inside month for a couple months now. Looking like it does want to pop out and break out. It's been unpromising. I haven't day traded Apple. I don't even know for how long. Probably since April, give or take, right? So it's just been months because it hasn't really been doing much. I don't want to spend too much time on this right now. We got 6 minutes before opening. There's other things here. But as we get, Thursday post close, right? After close, interesting. Apple is going to have some kind of catalyst to potentially break it out of its. If you look at the monthly and the weekly time frames, it's just been inside, just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some traders that love this condition and they'll sell credit. They'll trade the range, so on and so forth. There's something for everybody in markets. That's the thing, right? So, it might be a good thing for some folks. Some people will love it. Some traders are loving this range in Apple right now. Some traders are hating this range. So if you're more of a trended trader and a momentum trader, you're hating Apple right now. You're probably not even trading it because it's not your setups. It's not your condition context. If you're a range trader, you're probably loving Apple right now as it's been in a range for quite some time. That said, I'll kind of move on to Amazon just because, as you can see, it's kind of moving a lot more versus, say, something like Apple, just to compare weekly on the left, okay, daily on the right. And, it's been a slow mover, but it's been doing its thing, right? You're getting long. I've been telling folks in Phantoms, Amazon looking good, weekly, positive COG a couple weeks ago, slow, grindy, weekly up, slow, grindy, weekly up. Yes, we had some weekly highs here, some daily supply here to the left, right? And we're just kind of taking that out. A couple points away from all-time high now. Right. This was last Thursday, the big breakout move. We caught that. The team caught that on that breakout day. Beautiful. Since then, though, Friday and then yesterday being Monday, kind of small body range inside. For Thursday's high, Thursday's little inside bar. Okay. So again, it's still continuing its kind of grind higher. Just making higher high lows, basing, breaking higher, breaking higher above the 20, above the 200, above all VWAPs, so on and so forth. Slight gap up here today, flat 200 EMA, back above this week's VWAP, which is just Monday's VWAP. So it'll be interesting to see how Amazon potentially unravels. Earnings on Amazon is, drum roll, again, Thursday after close, similarly to Apple. So put that on your radar. Around earnings, just be careful because sometimes stocks could, hold this with a grain of salt here, right? But sometimes stocks can be a little quiet before their earnings. But Amazon today gapping up. Okay, could Amazon potentially touch 300 today? We'll see. Yes, I'm sure if you're looking at up and left, there's some supply there. But I wouldn't be surprised even if earnings were not coming up. This is AVGO. If earnings were not coming up, Amazon could not potentially make a new all-time high, right? I digress. I was in the wrong ticker there. So could Amazon kind of, instead of the even number would be kind of like a 250, right? Could we break the 242 all-time high and potentially get up there to the 250? So Amazon could get into the all-time high party club along with its other Mag 7, some of the other Mag 7s who are already at that party, right? So this gap up is not clearing that weekly VWAP. Okay, let's see AVGO. Beast stock. All right, beast, up, all-time high, another all-time high tier today. Can't really see nothing really stopping this thing to touch 300s. Okay, however, be careful there. Right off the open, we are a little bit stretched here. So again, similarly to the NASDAQ, okay, we could potentially have a bit of a gap up, pull back a little bit. We'll see how much of this potentiality it could fill down here using yesterday's high as some kind of retest on the backside over here. Okay, unfilled gap right there, daily bar closed there, gap up here. So it's just have to be cautious. You could have a little bit of a correctional move. All right, down into so I'm gonna pull a VWAP. Okay, and I got the 20p moving average here, 200. Kind of faster moving averages could potentially catch up here with that. We got Google already had earnings last week. Gapped up, faded its earnings, kind of rebalanced here. A lot of folks ask me all the time. I would throw VWAP on that and have that just be the just the call it like the earnings VWAP, right? What have you? Let that go. You can run that for the next 3 months into the next earnings, just to kind of give you an anchored VWAP of who's in control, buys or sells. So if we continue to get green bar closes above this quote unquote earnings anchored VWAP, okay, that was going to let us know that these buyers are still remaining kind of in control, right? Weeklies on the left, again, similarly to Amazon, not in the all-time high club, along with other tickers. AVGO is, right? Microsoft is, NVIDIA, oh my God, is. So we'll see, right? Meta just touched it a couple weeks ago, right? All-time high, new all-time high. So Google, Amazon, are they going to do it? Earnings already came out on Google, right? There goes that VWAP. It's been inside 2 days, right? Off the back of earnings, right? Took a loss on Friday, just didn't move at all. So after earnings, so we'll see. It's kind of consolidating a little bit here for the past 2 days down here. Not much of a gap, so I'll just be patient to see how that opens. Tesla's been working hard inside of its range. It's still not the most ideal kind of context location here, but the weeklies and monthlies still inside. All right, Tesla's just a popper, and it's not really much of there's some trends here, of course, yeah, but it's more it just pops up, pops down, pops up, pops down. However, over the past couple of months, it's been kind of sideways, ranging, kind of pinching a little bit here, if you will. Here, right, and kind of in the middle location here, right? Of course, this is way down here, right? But in more of the current times of 2020, 2021. So now we're kind of right here, and there's the all-time high up there, and here's like the low range on monthly. So we're kind of in the middle. But however, Tesla's been doing pretty well intraday, even with the location that it's been in. So we'll see what today offers. As that bell just rang, right? So I'm going to switch over here to the daily on the left. Keep that daily over there for now. Switch down here down to a 2. Man, trading view is really slow. What's up with that? I got my eye on Meta. NVIDIA yesterday, it was a monster. Let's get some internals really quickly. We're just open, so VIX is still chilling there for now. Yeah, did you? I bought some IBM shares. Did y'all manage to catch IBM shares on that gap down on the? I was actually hoping that it gapped down on earnings, which it did, and I just bought shares next day. Valdi up slightly, nothing crazy. Where's my advanced declines? Okay, right there. Positive 997, but clicking down just a little bit there. Make sure the stuff's loaded. Man, this stuff's really slow today. What's going on? All right, just remember that 90 and 80 node there. AMD on fire. Anybody own AMD from like way back Phantoms when we were talking about 100, 90, 80, give or take? I got put some stock. I got put some stock. I was selling 100 puts for like months in my IRA. So definitely time to potentially take some shares there. I got some monthly highs here, monthly high here. This thing's on fire though. Starting to get outside of 2 standard deviations on the weeklies and dailies here. So just be a little cautious on here, straight vertical. So we got some monthly highs. With this monthly high 174 handle, the next one is 187. So yeah, just watch out. Just watch out with that. Right, for day trade, make sure if you are getting long, TP decently, because that thing's getting vertical. Good job, Santo. Yeah, I remember Mathy back in the day, one of our good members. She would ask about AMD a lot, which was great because it was the same. It was like over and over again. It was like, where can I buy AMD? It was like, get down there at like 100, get it at like 190 down there, and you'll be all right. Sell some puts, sell some puts, sell some puts. And AVGO hitting 300. MU. That's NVIDIA and AMD. NVIDIA, AMD, and Broadcom are just continuing to be on fire. I'm really looking for MU down here at the 100 and the 95 area here for a nice swing. For a day trade, for a little bit of a baby swing, it could TP some, but I'm holding that for long term for the record. That's just how I'm managing it. I know everybody might be a bit more different. I'm starting accumulation here, and even if we happen to get lower on IBM, hypothetically, if we did, I'm still going to be buying to enter long term. All right. So if you're doing it for a swing trade, indeed, after post earnings, we were talking about it like down here, give or take, right? Bought some shares, so they're up a little bit there. But I'm going in this with a long term perspective, just FYI. All right, for the record there. right, Qs. All right, let me see Microsoft. Here's NVIDIA, AVGO, Microsoft. Google creeping too. NVIDIA. All right, I'm gonna snag some NVIDIA here. Q's looking good. See if I can pick up the what is it, the 180 strike call in NVIDIA. We're going for about 205, give or take, in terms of premium. Just August 1st expiration on Friday there. Here's the premium chart. All right, stop loss here, give or take. Structure level, but we'd have to break below there. So about a dollar of risk per contract here. All right, NVIDIA loan calls. We grab this account here. This is NVIDIA. Yeah, semis are just unreal right now. TSM. Mark's potentially looking at a 170 long pullback order here. Oh, that thing's so slow, man. Computers, that is. Google looking decent. So far. Things nice and momentum, nice pro gap up. Earnings is looking decent. Pin a what I would suggest, pin a anchored earnings VWAP there. You can even let this maybe dip down into this gap here. Right? A lot of breakaway gap earnings like that. So a little stretch here. A lot of breakaway gap earnings announcements like this formation could potentially continue to float, but be patient with that. Okay, be patient. Sometimes they'll break it below here. Maybe try to come in this little area space here, start to go into accumulation process for it there. Nice alignment on this so far. Nice alignment. Let's see, AC SPY. This is why I would be a little bit patient on this, on the what is it called, the bullish exposure here. Okay. Tesla walking down a bit. Oh, sorry, folks, man. This is brutal. I get it. I'm usually a lot faster than this, but everything's like so slow today, man. What's going on? Even trading view. Well, just stay focused. Let's see. Oh my God. So slow. VIX not really spiking. But this is a bar that we could, lean against. For a bought put. All right, if this fails out here, all right, so we're trading 68s. Man, we're just in the middle of Globex. All right, so I'm going to get long put some spies here, but with a tight leash. And yeah, bullish exposure would be kind of AVGO, NVIDIA, Microsoft. Come on. Come on. This is brutal. This is brutal. All right, tight leash here. Spies. Let's see. What are we trading? 68s, 68.14s. So about what 638 would be kind of like the at the money. He's going for about 83 cents there. Just a quick little day trade. We're still in the context of a massive higher time frame uptrend, right? So if this is going to be the put premium here, 638 strike, okay? And if you buy these puts, you'd be bearish, okay? Now, if the SPY makes a new high up in terms of price, we want to get stopped out of that short, and the premium would probably be about, give or take, I want to give some space here, probably about 50 cents. So this is about a 30-something odd cent risk here, okay? All right, for the 638 strike put, long put SPYs. You see NVIDIA. NVDA. NVIDIA trying to poke its head out a bit, right? All right, let's TP some of these SPY puts. All right. All right, TP some of these SPY puts here, I would suggest. All right, unload some more. Unload some more SPYs. NVIDIA hit 170 if you filled that long. NVIDIA AVGO, semis still holding decent. So I'm working bullish on those and working heavy SPYs right now. But TP SPYs, man, because we're still in a bullish market, expecting a little bit of a move down. Swipe needed, pulling back into the 20. Small time frames catching up now. Actually, TP Timmy decent here. All right, whenever your fill was down here on these puts, if you took this, like whatever, 93 cents, 85, 82, 87, whatever, everybody might be a little bit more different. Remember that original stop loss? This is a counter trend trade, right? So the original stop loss here when we got in was down here. Okay, now this is a counter trend trade for the day, right? Because this is a bearish trade in the context of a bullish market, which is good. We're fading a little bit down here off the open here. Okay, but the point that I'm trying to make here is protect your. If you still have some position on, protect, right? It's trail, right? We already TP'd several times here. TP, give or take. Shout out to Mark Wahlberg helping out the chat and team. That's what we do at Phantoms, and now trail, right? Trail your stop. Okay. So again, with a little stretch. This is a hard trade because we're doing a counter trend trade into a mean revert. So we got long put here. All right. Wide range bar, belt hold, breakdown on VWAP. A little bit of a correctional move, right? Impulse, a little bit of a correction. Lean into that new low here. We're mean reverting. So TP as discussed. Okay. Very small time frame scalp there. Okay. So just gotta be patient. Don't be itchy. As you get more experience, being patient is so key. Okay. All right, so bring that stop loss. Start to trail it down. There's view up right there, right? All right, wouldn't be surprised if that gets clipped. Let's continue. We have news at 10 or something, right? There's a jolts. It could jolt the market. Oh my God, that was so funny, dude. Oh my God, that was so funny. Avgo. This is not a positive CRG. But man, how high can this thing go? You gotta play to find out. This is NVIDIA. Why am I all wrong tickers today, man? Can't even read. I'm looking at both of them on the other screen over here. That's why I got NVIDIA and Broadcom like next to each other. Semis. Dude, AMD is. It was getting all the crap spoken about it down here, and now look at it, beastly. It's not all-time highs, but man, what a move off that 100, 80 to 100 area mark on the monthlies, massive level there. So yeah, CEO, she's doing some good things there too, though. So let's get some credit, man. Right? She's doing some good things there. AMD. This thing has just been a monster. All right, so we got some news. Man, Meta is just. There's a fight going on in Meta right now at the moment. About the Bulls and the Bears. All right. Looks like I'm going to be getting tagged here. All right, so I gotta get tagged here, break even on these spies here, okay? All right, so I'm clear. I'm flat of that at the moment on spies. Mr. Blue, flat spies at the moment. Fair enough. All right. Just for now. Still got some David. Oh my God, this is so slow. It's like actually annoying me. I'm trying to work here, trying to work with y'all. All right, David TP. Oh man, did I mess up on this? This is supposed to be. Well, I already had TP here. Apparently, I did. So small account annoying. But TP in the video. Nice pop. Decent pop. Not a lot of money there, but we got news coming out, right? So this is good. Reduce some exposure. We got news coming out in a couple. Not even a minute. 30 seconds. So we could decrease some TP some here, decrease some risk exposure, so on and so forth. NVIDIA new high. Make sure you TP some the vid. Shout out Mark Wahlberg, our good Phantom member here. So we got news coming out. Good morning. Lulu at demand. Oh yeah, we got Microsoft's earnings Wednesday after close. Robinhood too. Oh, this is brutal. VIX is still hanging out low here. Let's see. Nothing too crazy at all. Yeah, we got Fed, mega cap earnings. SPX. So the market maker bought, put bearish. So this price is going down. Their delta, their negative delta is increasing. So I got to buy S&P futures. So this 63.80, 63.90 area, again, still just based on that pre-market prep, is still on the dock there. We're still holding below daily VWAP at the moment. Kind of in an interesting spot on the indexes at the moment, on smaller time frame stuffs at the moment. In that that 80 and 90 level. On SPX has some good gamma there. Mic check. Can y'all still hear me? What is going on, man? With this thing today. Okay. Anyways, it's hard to work in this condition. Anyways, trying to get across some things for you folks. Trying to hold my cuss words. Technology is not our friend today. There is some good, decent gamma here. Okay, and what I was trying to say before getting cut out and things slow and things like that, whatever, moving on. What I was trying to say was we were in an interesting kind of spot where we have, kind of being pinched right here, right? So we got to be patient. We can still flush out, be prepared for that little bit of a flush out if that happens. Now, if you're still long put, what TP some, if we get it equal to a new low, right? Equal to TP, you TP some puts, right? Down here. For sure, all the way down here, right? This is yesterday's view up, which is going to be this week's view up, yesterday being Monday. That yellow line there, I made it yellow, even though it was yesterday's daily view up. That's going to be today's. I'm sorry, it's going to be this week's view up because that was Monday, right? So it's a mean revert yesterday down here with a positive gamma node. At the 200 and small time frames, get another gamma node right here too. Okay, so far off the open, okay, we have a small little. This is why I want to be careful with that bullish exposure, right? right, so we still have not breaking this structure yet, right? And that blue line is daily VWAP, right? That's the 20, this is 200, whatever, right? So equal to or new low, this would be TP, TP, TP from shorts. As we're starting to get down into this area here, even into the bigger gamma node, potentially down here, okay, and right, we would be TPing from shorts. Watch out for a daily low sweep. Yesterday's low sweep. Apologies, folks. This thing's moving so slow. When you're an official Phantom member and you go into the trade room, I can tell you it's not like this. It's seamless for the most part. Watch out for that daily sweep right there. And I would just be a little more conservative with you folks, meaning non-aggressive. Just for YouTube, I'd say down here, of course, TP from shorts. Okay, TP means takes profit from shorts. And this could also be an area where we could potentially swipe in to enter longs or bullish, right? And that could be long SPX, long SPY calls, SPX calls, S&P futures, so on and so forth. This is on a weekly all time. Put this at 11:30. And this is just too laggy for me. And I can't, man. I can't. All right. So the SPY is decent. You have a little bit planned there for it, at least for the next maybe hour or so. NVIDIA is still kind of doing this thing. It's just on VWAP. Managed to TP a little bit of that. But definitely be patient today, folks. Be patient always. Unique time, all-time highs. Some Mag 7 are there, some are not. Sometimes they're doing their own little thing here. They're just like passing the ball. One strong, 1 weak, one strong, 1 weak here. Next day, the other one that was strong is a little more weaker than the one that was weak is strong the next day. So you got to know how to analyze the chart and pick your spots correctly, okay? That said, tomorrow Fed earnings coming up. I'll be with my Phantoms tomorrow morning, being Wednesday, God willing, in the trade room. Okay, and that we will potentially look at a little bit more of some Meta, Microsoft, Robinhood, Carvana, Qualcomm earnings, ARM. So tomorrow after close is going to be a big day there. So definitely tomorrow in the live trade room on Wednesdays, which is typically the scheduled day that we do it live for hours and hours and hours. We'll have 4 hours as opposed to kind of like 1 hour in a pre-market prep and trading the open. We'll roll up our sleeves and get into that. Also tomorrow is also the Fed day. So it's Fed day. So man, don't go too crazy today. We got some taping doing its thing. But just know that this is could be the calm a little bit before the storm. Although markets are, S&Ps and NASDAQs are up. They're all at new highs. AMD new high, all-time high. So we'll see. All right, cool. Potentially setting up. Usually I stay a little bit more longer, but man, I like to move fast, and this thing is just so slow. I'm not using that as an excuse at all. But yeah, if you want to learn a little bit more about this, you can go to Phantoms, TradePhantoms.com. We got some Phantoms in here already. As you can see, they're helping. Teamwork makes the dream work. Click on register. They all started here, right? They click on this register bar here. They name, email, phone number, well, whatever, right? 10, you get sent a link there, right? Register. Be about a 90-minute session hosted by Mr. Black and or Mr. Green. Sometimes both of them will be in there to help each other out. You can read all this stuff here, right? The agenda. Okay, we're all professional traders here. Myself, Mr. Blue, Mr. Black, Mr. Green. All asset classes, stocks, futures, forex, options. Okay, even crypto, trading for short-term income. I just took a little scalp on the S&P, SPY options, right? All the way to long-term wealth management. Okay, everything, right? Day trading, short-term trading, mid-term trading, swing trading, position trading, long-term investment, long-term management and protection. Everything, one-stop shop for everything. If you're starting out, just beginning with a couple $100 all the way to we have some members that are managing millions and millions and millions. And come one, come all. We don't discriminate, nothing there. Everybody starts somewhere, right? And so we'll try to start you off the proper professional way. If you like it, great. If not, that's great as well. Check it out. If it's not for you, it's not for everybody. It's not everything is for everybody, right? So you can give it a chance. And we'll see what that looks like. All right, I'll see some of my Phantoms members later today in class, and then tomorrow morning, big day. Get some rest tonight. Don't make sure you get in your morning, and make sure you're up early tomorrow morning, man. It's a big day, right? Fair enough. Cool. Blue out for now. God bless. Take care. Love y'all.